335
Yes.
guitars.
Yeah, hollow bodies, semi-hollow bodies, whatever you wish to call them. And there's a range of them here, and there's a range for pockets. So you've got a dot, which is a model that's discontinued now in Epiphone world. This is now the inspired by Gibson 335. Really, it is the same sort of thing, just a slightly fancier model, but in essence, it's the same guitar. Price of these, brand new, I think they're like £400-500.
Really,
second hand,
yeah. Oh, second hand.
No, second hand. You're talking like £350.
That's just all the guitar.
It is. It's a great guitar. Range of colours. I mean, we've got them in red and black and natural and everything else. And then the next tier up in the Epiphone world, I'd say, straight up, is what you've got there, which is a Sheraton. So Sheraton, what you've got here is the first, I would always say, is the first copy, if that's the right word, or the first next best thing to obviously what is here, which is a Gibson 335, which is the real deal. That is a Gibson 335 vintage sunburst, lacquered finished, gloss finish. That is obviously quite an expensive guitar now. I think retail price of those is about £3,000, is what they are now. Second-hand price of that one is £2,395. And obviously, yes, it is a substantial guitar. It is a serious piece of kit. But if you want something like that, and you're not really in a position to go spending £3,000, well, these two bits here are kind of there. I'd say what we've got here and what's there, they kind of get you somewhere close. The Sheraton list price is, I think, about £800, and you do get some really cool things with it. This is a copy, in essence, of Epiphone. Yes, obviously same company, all this sort of stuff we're owned by, of that. But what you've got there is a proper Epiphone. That is not a copy of a Gibson. That is its own thing.
So with Epiphone their own thing before they got involved with Gibson?
Absolutely.
And is this one of their models?
Yes. So 1960 something, 4, 5, 6, mid-60s, Gibson obviously bought Epiphone. Epiphone had a range of their own guitars: the Casino, the Riviera, the Sorrento, the Sheraton. The list goes on, of their own guitars, not copies of, this is their own, when they were their own thing. And they've carried on running certain models. The Riviera is another one, and we've got a Riviera just over there. And the Sheraton, the Casino is still a guitar that's produced today. That is their own. That's not a Gibson. Now, Gibson have done a version of a Casino, right, which is an Epiphone. It's still an Epiphone, but it's made in the Gibson factory.
It's a copy of an Epiphone made by Gibson.
Copied of an Epiphone made by Gibson, yeah. So
beautiful. That's the way I like it.
Yeah, they are really well-made piece of kit. You can't see it on this one, but they have 3-piece necks. They don't have scarf joints like these things do.
Wow.
There is a natural one over there, which has got, you can see the wood up the neck. Real quite special guitars, I think. You've obviously got some really handsome inlays on the headstock. This sort of tree of life, or whatever you want to call it, Levy thing, or whatever it is up there. That's a cool feature. Gold hardware, the tortoiseshell pickguard. Just cool features that you get on a Sheraton, which you don't necessarily get on anything else. And there's loads of people that have used them. Loads of people have made that guitar famous. Paul Weller, Oasis in various forms have used Sheratons, and Rivieras and other models of Epiphone.
Very much a songwriter tool, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of British songwriter kind of thing.
Yeah, they kind of made it big. I'd say 80s, 90s. A lot of people started using them. The neck on it feels really cool on that.
It's lovely.
It's got a thin back, almost like if you know your Gibson stuff. That is it's a 61 reissue SG neck all day long. It is the same sort of profile, flat back, kind of wide, but it's got a lot of feel about it. You're using a Fender-esque amp, so it is a Universal Audio Dream. I'm using a Lion. We'll get some plexi tones out of a Dot, which is what this is. So if you want to do rock on one.
Does it rock?
Yeah. So let's go with a neck pickup sound.
It's got a cream vibe, hasn't it? It's definitely got a cream.
Better not play that. But yeah, you get the idea.
Get kicked out of your
get kicked
music
out,
shop.
Get kicked out of the thing. Got a nice tone about it. Let's just do a straight comparison between what you've got there and what we've got here. So you're talking price-wise difference, probably 200-300 quid. In regards to the actual electronics that you get in these two, very similar really. So I'll just do exactly the same stuff as I just did there on this. So bridge pickup to start with. I can't hear a difference. You hear a difference?
It sounds a little bit more open. But... no, it's very similar, isn't it?
Very similar. Feel-wise, straight away, the fret edges on this are much better than they are on that. The neck-wise is a lot thinner. I think it just feels a little bit more well done, if that makes sense. So if we get some Fender tones out of the dock now.
Okay, so that's just on your clean neck. If I just dress that down on the... It's not quite muddy. If I just drop that one down. Sustain's alright.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's alright.
It's alright.
But its neck is super chunky.
It's chunky. Do give us the same sort of tones out of the Sheraton, just so we can get you got a different sort of amp sound now.
Kind of clean playing.
Yeah, compared to what we've got there.
So this is full tone, full volume. Kind of evokes a different vibe from a playing. That's quite nasty as well, if you want me. weird not having anything above that
Yes.
fret. And then you can't, when you're trying to play, you're like, what?
Well, this is the thing with Sheratons. You just hit something on the head there that Sheratons don't have. And yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a pain in the backside what they do there.
It is.
They do not give you fret dots above the 15th fret when you're looking down here.
I think I could get used to it, but
I don't know. I think that's I don't know why they don't do it. I'm sure there's someone that knows. But I've always looked at Sheratons and gone, oh, it's like they just
leave a
forgot.
comment. Leave a
know
comment
that,
if you
yeah.
know why.
Why
That
they
would be
don't
really
have
cool to know.
fret dots on as you're looking down here from the 15th fret up. There's nothing.
So from there, what I would say out of this one, the tones when you they clean up really nicely.
Yeah.
You've got some really, when you're mixing those tones, it feels more palatable. It feels like it's more. It just gives me a little bit more of everything.
Yeah.
So sonically as well. I really like this.
It's a cool
this
guitar,
is amazing.
Feels great for the money. I mean, Sheraton's new, about 800 second hand. But we put them out here around the 500. Some of them are between 450, 500. They've been making them for years. There are some of them which are made in Japan from the 80s, which are worth some big money now. And you are shaking on for like almost the second hand price of a Gibson 335. You know, 1,800, 2 grand, 2 and a bit thousand quid. As some of the 80s ones. They did one which actually does have fret binding at the side, like you do get on a 335. That was some of the Japanese.
Oh, really?
ones.
With the nibs?
Yeah, with the fret nibs on, and they fetch some money. Cool guitar, just made in Korea before. Now obviously they're made in China or Indonesia, wherever they're made today. And it's nice to see models that Epiphone used to make before they were bought by Gibson still being made. I like that. I think that's wicked because, in essence, all Epiphones, and this is a terrible thing to say, but it's kind of true, they are the first copy.
Mm.
They kind of are. If you've got an Epiphone Les Paul, you've got the kind of, and I know there's people that have other brands of guitars that rave about them, that even come into the shop.
And stuff like that.
Eyes
Yeah,
and Eastmans and
Eastman, yeah.
all those brands when they go, it blows the socks off your Gibson. And you know what? Yeah, you as a player might feel that. I haven't particularly felt that yet, and I've had some really high-end Tock Eyes.
It just depends how you define owning a Gibson.
Yeah.
It might be more about sort of vibe and the individuality of that particular instrument.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit of I always say Gibson made the 335. That's the guitar they made, and I don't know when it came out. I'm guessing 1958, 57, maybe before then. But if you've got a Gibson 335 that's made today, it's still a Gibson 335. If you've got an Epiphone or a Tock Eye or an Eastman or any of the above, well, you've just got the next best thing. You haven't got the thing. The thing is the Gibson 335. Same with the Les Paul, same with an SG. Gibson make that. And yeah, I'm sure that you can go out and buy something that's got better tone wood and more in keeping pickups and whatever else.
Yeah, some of the stuff, I get it. Like one of my favourite guitar players, Joey Landreth, he wants a gold top, He wanted a gold top, 54 gold top, but it's unobtainium. Yeah. So, he's had a custom guy make it for him. Yeah. And the Sorokin guitars, which are just incredible one-off kind of guitars. Is it the same as a 54? It probably smells the same and feels the same, and you can play it the same, but it's still not a 54.
It's not quite the thing.
It's still not quite a 54.
No, and I think that there is something about that, and what we've got here is a Gibson 335. Let's have some tones out of this. So straight into Marshall, we'll give it straight away some rocky type stuff. Sounds wicked.
It's proper, isn't it?
Does sound really good.
Proper.
Let's have a bit of tone roll off. So that gives you that mid. This is something that Epiphones don't do when you roll off the tone. It just sounds like you put it in a bucket of mud.
Yeah,
whereas you roll that off and you've got
that. super usable, that is.
Yeah, that rolls off. That's the tone all the way off, and then that's the tone all the way on. There's the sustain.
It's cool.
So we're going to go for a sort of a neck pickup stuff rolled off. Let's go with something in the middle. Both pickups now. Feels great. Give us some more tones of that Sheraton, and then we're going to put that to you so you can get a good ear balance of what the tone difference are between a Sheraton and a 335.
So. Very sweet guitar, that is. It's such a sweet guitar. It evokes
a certain type of playing with that.
It does. So this one, oh yeah, it just feels familiar to me.
Yeah,
it feels so familiar.
It's kind of real, isn't it?
Okay, so. That the guitar does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice.
Sounds amazing. It cleans up.
Oh, it's got it all really. I mean, you know. That BB King. Yeah, this would be my
cool thing, isn't it? Yeah.
There's something a little bit more intimate about this guitar, and I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's just because it's a bit smaller. Somehow it feels smaller.
But the thing with the Sheraton is, and it's something that a lot of people say when they first pick it up, is they go, Christ, there's a
spade or
some sort of trowel on the end of the headstock, because it is that is big. That is a statement.
Yeah.
Right there. You know, it is a big headstock. There's a lot of real estate
it's
there.
The late 60s. Let's put a big headstock on so everyone knows what brand it is.
Yeah, it's just a big thing. And don't get me wrong, when you're playing it, I wouldn't say weight-wise it kind of interferes. There is weight there, but it's a visual thing, isn't it? It's like when you go and play an Epiphone, which obviously has the headstock rake and that, you know, a straighter angle, to a Gibson, which is more rake back. It just kind of feels more around you then.
I wonder if that's what it is.
Could
it just feels more like
it's wrapped around
this
you.
is mine.
Yeah, it's there.
That's how these guitars do.
It also could be the neck brake angle off the body. It could be slightly more rake back from the body. Who knows? But it's. I mean, look, the price of that guitar warrants what you're going through. If you paid that money for that guitar, I think you want it to do all the things you just said.
Yeah, this is definitely like my pick.
Yeah,
just because it's emotional and nice.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice piece of kit. It's got a nice top on it.
And I think it's something that you can't really put into quantify into words.
Yeah.
Just because it's or quantifying to specs. Let's say.
No, it is.
You know, I have the same kind of experience with motorbikes or cars or certain objects that are just lovely.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what it is.
No, it is. It makes you feel a certain way when you're playing it. Yeah, I'm going through that with cars at the minute. Certain Italian cars, which are lovely and don't fully work, but when they do work, it feels great. So.
There we go. So, what would you pick if you had £500? Not this one.
Not that one.
A few more £500.
Well, you could lump it into a deposit for one, I suppose, and chuck the rest on a HP deal. But
would you regret that? You wouldn't regret that, would you?
I suppose it comes down to a bang for buck, a value for money. You know, if you had £3 in your pocket and you were going out to buy a guitar today, and you bought that, would you walk out the shop going, "I've spent my £3,000 and I'm well happy"? Or do you spend 2.5 or 2,000? Sorry, not 2.5. Would you spend your, say, 700-800 quid, walk out with a couple of grand change, and go, "Actually, you know what? I'm really happy with this." It's that thing. Is does the guitar warrant the money that it is for you? And you know, sound wise, I don't. You hear differences. You do hear differences, but do you hear £3 grand differences between these guitars? And that's, I don't know. Some people will, some people won't. Tough one.
It's a tough one.
I like the top on this dot. I reckon that's doing it for me.
Yeah?
It's
quite 3D, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a nice grey. It's like a quilt, and it's got like a red hue around it as well. I think that the top on that, weirdly, is kind of a bit nicer to what you've got there on that Gibson.
Yeah, the colour's a bit strange on it.
It's a very plain Jane, that is. And some people love the plain Jane look.
Yeah.
I have people who go, "I don't want any figuring, I don't want any flame, I don't want anything. I want it to see grain and nothing else." And I get it, I understand it, but I don't know, I kind of like a bit of flame, like a bit of flash, like a bit of nice wood on my guitar. And I think that kind of does it a bit. And the neck on that as well, that's got a bigger neck to what this is. And I think when you're playing the sort of music that a 335 makes you play, a bit of a thicker neck gives you a bit more.
Can help a little bit.
Yeah, nice sweepy bends and things like that. So either probably the dot or that is where I put my money. Sheratons are great, but not my personal cup of tea.
I think I'm quite taken by that Sheraton. I'd probably do the Sheraton or this.
Yeah.
I think really, I'd just put the money into a deposit and buy something like this, because if I bought something like that, I'd probably want one of these still.
Yeah, it's a scratch you have to itch.
That's the thing. And then when I've had one, I don't really want another one.
No.
But I've had one.
The only thing with them, they're big guitars. They are big guitars. You know, to put it into perspective, is if you bought a regular size acoustic guitar, this won't fit in the case. It's too long and it's too chunky in this area there. So they're big lumps of wood, really. You kind of don't appreciate it when you look at it, because they're not too thick, but they are big. And if you're a small bloke or lady, whatever, and you agree to playing one of those, can make you look a little bit out of proportion.
I'm a big guy, so it's
all right.
Look all right.
Yeah, I'm okay with one. But if you were, 5 foot,
Angus Young or something,
he'd look ridiculous with one of these. He would look. I mean, it's weird that you say that, because the other guy, Malcolm
looks great with his Gretsch.
He looks like he's playing one of these, and he isn't.
He's just playing a little.
He's playing a guitar that's really the same size as like a Les Paul or an SG, body-wise.
Yeah,
but you always look at them and you see them and you think, my God, that looks a big guitar.
It's like Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
Like you look at Randy Rhoads holding a Les Paul custom and you're like, oh my God, there's a guitar with a man attached to it.
Yeah, it's not quite that. It's quite small. Or anyway.
Yeah,
no, they're cool guitars, and if this gives you a bit of an insight of where you put your money when you're buying your hollow body, then happy days. But yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.